What is up, guys? Welcome to part two of my getting a red MX1 in 2023. So it's been a bit of an experience with this puppy. I'm not going to lie to you, but as promised, today I'm going to be talking about little things like the tripod head, what you should sort of look out for, and what you sort of can get on a budget to get this puppy rigged up the way you want it to get rigged. Okay. So if I'm a little bit all over the place, it's very hot out there today, and I'm sort of fighting to stay awake at the moment. Super busy week this week has been, and I just had literally the scare of my life because this lens, I've just dropped it, and I just quickly had to test it out to make sure it still works. So I've literally dropped it on a ceramic floor, concrete floor. And yeah, it seems to still be working okay. So yeah, that was a bit of a scare just then, because this is EF, so fitted with an EF mount. For some reason, it doesn't lock, so the lens comes off quite easily. So you've got to be, when you sort of turn it on, that's it. So when you're sort of pulling focus, so on and so on. Yeah, there's a possibility that the actual lens can come off. So I'm going to have to start thinking about how I'm going to get this so it locks into place. Or if you guys know of any sort of hacks I could do, so when I sort of turn this, it actually locks and is secure. So, because the focus pull ring is right here. So it's obviously a possibility, like when I turn it, look, the whole lens spins. So yeah, I'm gonna have to sort of figure that out, and get that fixed. Even though it's not a fault of the actual modification of the air fit, it still definitely needs to be sorted, so I don't end up in the middle of a shoot pulling off the lens. That's all I need, because we've got some pretty expensive prime lenses going on this thing when we're shooting. So here, on here, we have the Lufrito V812 head. I spent nearly well over a month researching tripod heads or ball heads to counter the weight of this camera, and it's been hell. And I finally found one that does the job. Now this one comes in two variations. It comes in one that you can hold up to 20 pounds, I think, no, 19 pounds, and this one holds 26 pounds. So I will put a link in the description where you can pick this one up from this ball head up from, should I say. And yeah, it seems to be doing a trick. It's on the Manfrotto 055 tripod legs, which is solid. This thing is so strong. But yeah, what I ended up doing just here, I screwed the base plate to the actual base of the camera. So I'm not using the actual slide plate with a red one. I literally, it's about this long, this length, the plate, and I've got it screwed in 3 times into the actual camera itself. So I know it's attached to the camera and it's rock solid. Yeah, so it's got, you know, the 2 screw ones, the big ones. I can't remember what measurements are. I'm not into all that stuff. I just like things to work. They're quite big. So you've got one there, one on one side, one on the other side, and there was 2 more holes in the middle here, and I just got another screw, big thick screw, and I literally, with a really flat head, and screwed it straight in. So I know that this plate here attached to the camera is rock solid. It's not going nowhere. So obviously when it's attached to the base plate, it's going to be strong. Now the only thing is, you've got to be very well. You haven't got to be careful. You've got to be you've got to use common sense with this release plate here. Now obviously this camera's not fully rigged up. It's not got a hard drive in it. I literally just put the hard drive in it a minute ago, and the screen on it, just to test out this lens, because as I was setting this video up, the lens literally dropped to the floor and hit the floor, and I was in a state. So I had to quickly throw the film monitor on and the battery on, just to make sure that the lens was okay. So yeah, that was a bit stressful. All you got to be careful of is this bit here, because this is tight at the moment, but as soon as you release it, you can see that it becomes back heavy. and it becomes front heavy. Normally my camera's back heavy because all the weight of everything, obviously if you've got one of these, all your weight's going to go out the back with your batteries, you know, your battery, your hard drive, so on and so on. So it more than likely will be back heavy. So what you need to do is, as you release it, don't release it without holding the camera because it will literally just drop. But once you sort of tighten it, it's rock solid. So if you see here, I mean, it's got one of these really cool arm things. Normally when, you know, when I'm sort of using the camera, you know, I will hold onto the whole camera and I will pan like that. You know, you won't really touch this arm. You'd be literally holding the camera like this and panning, not using this. You know what I mean? But like I say, as soon as you release this, the camera is literally floppy now. It could drop back literally. I don't know if that. I could feel literally the weight in my hand drop it wanting to fall. So that's the only thing. But once you tighten it, this, you're good to go. Now I can't, because obviously these have got threads in it and stuff like that. I can't really see this sort of thing lasting years and years, because obviously these things have got wear and tear. So as you're tightening it, you know, to keep the camera in, especially with this weight, if it's like a lighter DSLR or something like that, or even a lighter cinema camera, you'd be fine, because you wouldn't need to put a lot of you know, tightness on this, if that makes sense, to keep the camera stable. But because you've really got to tighten it to make sure that the camera don't flop backwards or flop forwards when you let go, I can't see this thing lasting more than a couple of years, which is fine. You know, it's fine. You know, you do get a lot of wear and tear, but at the end of the day, it is doing a job. It is holding the camera in. So what I normally do is I'll just loosen it, and then I'll just grab the top here. This handle's normally all the way out, and then I'll make sure it's straight with the bubble levels, which it is, and then tighten it up. You've got added supports here. So the great thing, I don't know if you can see on this tripod, it's got like a little latch, and it takes a 1/4 inch thread thingy. So what I've done is, you know, the monitor arms that bend and tight, what I do is, like, if I want to lock the camera off, don't need to, screw it into that and then screw it into this hole here, and it just gives it that little bit more support. Even though the camera is solid on the tripod, it really is solid, and I was super pleased with the quality of this ball mount or head, tripod head, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that is pretty cool. Now we did take this on set. I used this for a full day. This camera on set, we're in the middle of shooting a short film called The Grass Ain't Greener, and we took this on set, and it was great. The tripod was fantastic. I never literally worried about leaving the camera alone, you know, thinking, oh, is someone going to kick it? Or I did tell people, watch the camera, you know, don't be walking past it and kicking the tripod legs and stuff like that. But I never had any worry with sort of leaving the tripod, you know, the camera sort of unattended on this rig, which was always my main concern. Obviously, as you know, we're going to shoot Don't Open the Door in August with a really large crew, and I don't want to have to leave the setup like this to go for a cup of tea and worry that this is going to be on its back, smashed in a million pieces when I get back. I don't feel that now. I feel like this is strong enough to take the weight of this camera, which was cool, like I just said. You know, it's got a really nice smooth panning, tilting and all that sort of good stuff. But yeah, I mean, I haven't even got this slid on properly at the moment, which is not a good thing. So basically there's a lock around this side which tightens it, and there you go, now it's dead set and now it's on. So what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to put a couple of marks here. You know, I use the sticker labels. This is the way the thing is. When you go in from the other direction, it gets stuck, and it's like, oh my god, and you got to wiggle it. The camera, it's not good for the camera either. So I do know that I have to put a mark with an arrow pointing this way on here, so I know that the camera slides in from this angle. And then you've got a sort of like a release plate here, which it locks in there. I don't know if you can see that we're just focusing on that. There's a release lock here, which is red, which basically once it slides in, it snaps into place. It just locks into place. And just focus back on me, which should keep the camera secure. But I do, yeah, I have to put like a little mark. I would recommend that. A little mark showing which way the camera goes onto the tripod. Because when you try and put it on the other way, it starts to slide. You think, yeah, oh yeah, I've got it. And it starts to slide and then it gets stuck. And you're like, oh my God, I can't get the camera. And it really does get stuck. It really does jam in. But the other way, when you put it the right way, it just slides in smoothly. It's definitely, I would recommend 2 people putting this camera on the tripod. So basically, one just holding the tripod, even though the weight can support it, because this supports £26, which is more than enough. I would say you could get 2 people to help you put the camera on the tripod. Lifting it up and carrying it around ain't too, you obviously need a couple of people, but it ain't too bad. What I was doing on set, it was like I was literally putting my arm underneath the bottom of the tripod here, holding the top and cradling it like this, and then carrying it to where I need to go. You'll definitely get a workout with this bad boy. You'll definitely get a workout with this. So yeah, I'll definitely put a link in the description where you can put the where you can pick the ball head up from, and the tripod as well. I think it works. It's a good little super strong setup for the money. Obviously, as you know, buying a real proper heavy duty tripod for this going to cost you about £8,000 to £10,000 easily. And I am not spending £8,000 to £10,000 on a couple of sticks and a ball mount. No way, it's just not happening. So yeah, that's basically the tripod situation all sorted. So I hope you've enjoyed part 2. There will be definitely a part 3 where we'll be going more detailed in on image quality and audio. So that will be part 3 of this series, where we're going to be looking at the image quality and the audio quality, and then the final part will be bringing footage into sort of like DaVinci Resolve. So we'll be trying DaVinci, Final Cut and Premiere Pro to see which basically the best sort of workflow for this camera is. They all do the same thing, but I have tried it out and I've found that some are slower than the others at using this sort of footage. Even though my systems are pretty high end, they still sort of struggle just a little bit with the footage that comes out of this camera, which is, I'll put some over the top of here now, which is pretty incredible. A little bit of grass ain't greener for you. So as always, guys, love you very much, and I will definitely catch you in part 3, which I hope to shoot later next week, and bring you next week. Like I say, very busy at the moment. We got 2 short films that we're doing at the moment and a feature, which is Don't Open. The Wrong, unfortunately, has been delayed until January, February next year, but we will bring you up to date when I know more details about what's happening with that production in the next few months. So love you very much, guys, and I will definitely catch you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.